Every day is an opportunity to get better, to learn something new, and to move closer to the person you want to become. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day hustle, but the truth is, if you're not investing in yourself, you're missing out on one of the most powerful tools you have to succeed. The more you educate yourself, the more you set yourself up for growth, for success, and for a future that reflects the person you're working hard to become. In this audiobook, we're going to dive deep into why educating yourself daily is so important and how it can transform every area of your life. I'm going to share why learning, even in small ways every day, can give you the edge you need to take your goals to the next level. It's not about becoming an expert overnight, but about the consistent effort you put in each day. So if you're ready to unlock the next level of your potential, stick around. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Chapter 1. Why your mind is your greatest asset. Your mind is the greatest tool you have. It will either be your greatest weapon or your biggest weakness, and the choice is entirely yours. The quality of your life, the success you achieve, and the confidence you carry, it all starts in your mind. If you don't take control of what goes in, then the world will decide for you. And let me tell you something, the world doesn't care about your success. The world will fill your mind with distractions, with fear, with doubt. It will tell you that you can't do it, that you're not smart enough, not lucky enough, not talented enough. And if you believe that, you've already lost. But the good news is, you don't have to accept that. You can take back control. You can train your mind, sharpen it, strengthen it, and turn it into the most powerful tool you have. And when you do that, your whole life will change. You see, the difference between those who win in life and those who struggle isn't luck. It's not talent. It's not even hard work. It's mindset. It's how they think. It's what they focus on. It's what they feed their mind every single day. Winners educate themselves daily. They learn something new every day. They read, they listen, they surround themselves with ideas that make them stronger. Losers, they don't even realize they have a choice. They drift through life, reacting to whatever comes their way, letting other people and outside circumstances control them. And the worst part, they don't even know they're doing it. They think life is just happening to them. But let me tell you something. Life doesn't happen to you. It responds to you. It responds to your thoughts, your actions, your habits, and it all starts with what you put into your mind. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you learned something that could actually change your life? Not entertainment, not gossip, not something you'll forget in an hour. I'm talking about real knowledge. Something that could help you grow, improve, move forward. If you can't remember, that's a problem. Because here's the truth. If you're not growing, you're dying. There's no standing still in life. You're either getting better or you're falling behind. And every day that you don't push yourself to learn, to improve, to educate yourself, you're giving your competition the advantage. Because I guarantee you, someone out there is learning while you're wasting time. Someone out there is sharpening their skills, expanding their mind, getting better, while you're staying the same. And one day, when you wonder why they got the promotion, why they built the business, why they're living the life you want, you'll realize it wasn't luck. It was daily improvement. It was self-education. It was discipline. That's why I say your mind is your greatest asset. Because once you commit to learning every day, to feeding your mind with powerful knowledge, you become unstoppable. You start seeing the world differently. You start making better decisions. You start attracting opportunities. People start looking at you differently because you carry yourself with confidence. Why? Because you know things. Because you've put in the time to grow, to develop, to sharpen your thinking. You're not just going through the motions anymore. You're building something. You're creating your own future. And I know some people will say, But Jim, I don't have time to read books, to listen to seminars, to study. You don't have time. Let me tell you something. You don't have time not to. Because every minute you spend not improving is a minute you're falling behind. How much time do you spend scrolling through your phone, watching TV, doing things that add nothing to your life? Be honest. If you took just a fraction of that time and used it to learn, to grow, to strengthen your mind, where do you think you'd be in a year, 5 years, 10 years? The answer is simple: further than you are now. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. They make time. They prioritize their growth because they know that knowledge isn't just power, it's freedom. Think about the most successful people in the world, the leaders, the innovators, the game changers. They never stop learning. They never stop educating themselves. They read, they study, they absorb new ideas every single day. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. That's a habit. They understand that if they stop growing, they start dying. And if the people at the top, the ones with all the success, all the wealth, all the power, if they still believe in daily learning, why wouldn't you? Why would you ever think that you can afford to stop improving when even the best of the best never stop? The question isn't whether or not you have time to educate yourself daily. The question is whether or not you're willing to do what it takes to take control of your life. Whether or not you're willing to change the way you think, to change your habits, to change the way you operate on a daily basis. And I'll be honest with you, it's not easy. Most people won't do it. Most people will hear this and go right back to their old ways. Because change is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. But let me tell you something. Do you know what's more uncomfortable? Staying the same, waking up 10 years from now, in the same place, with the same problems, the same regrets, the same excuses. That's real pain. If you want a different life, you have to start making different choices. And it starts with how you educate yourself. Every single day, you have the opportunity to learn something that could change your life. The question is, will you take it? Will you decide right now, today, that you're going to start feeding your mind with knowledge, with wisdom, with ideas that make you stronger? Or will you keep doing what you've always done, hoping that somehow things will change on their own? Because let me tell you, they won't. Life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. And change starts with you. It starts with what you do every day. It starts with what you put into your mind. And if you take control of that, if you commit to educating yourself daily, if you make the decision that you will never stop learning, never stop growing, never stop pushing yourself, you will become unstoppable. So the choice is yours. You can stay the same, or you can take control. You can keep making excuses, or you can start feeding your mind with the knowledge and ideas that will set you apart. You can settle for an average life, or you can decide, right now, that you are meant for more, because your mind is your greatest asset, and what you do with it will determine the life you live. Chapter 2. Read, listen, observe. The 3 pillars of self-education. Your mind is like a bank, and every day you're making deposits. The things you read, the conversations you have, the information you consume, it all adds up. And let me tell you something. The quality of your deposits determines the quality of your life. If you put in nonsense, distractions, and negativity, don't be surprised when you struggle to make good decisions. But if you fill your mind with wisdom, knowledge, and powerful ideas, you'll start making choices that put you ahead in life. The question is, what are you feeding your mind every single day? Because whether you realize it or not, every little thing you expose yourself to is shaping the way you think, the way you act, and the way you live. And if you want a better life, you need to take control of the information you allow in. If you look at successful people, Those who truly move ahead in life, you'll notice something. They don't just let random information fill their mind. They are intentional. They choose what they read, who they listen to, and what they pay attention to. They don't waste hours scrolling through meaningless content, filling their head with things that don't serve them. They make sure that every single day they are learning something valuable, and that's why they get ahead. That's why they always seem to have the right answers, why they carry themselves with confidence, why they can see opportunities that others miss. It's not because they're luckier or more talented, it's because they've trained their mind to think at a higher level. Now let me tell you what separates those who grow every day from those who stay stuck in the same place. It comes down to three simple things: reading, listening, and observing. These three habits will change your life if you take them seriously. They will sharpen your thinking, increase your awareness, and give you an edge in everything you do. And here's the truth: most people will never do this. Most people will never take the time to truly educate themselves outside of what's required. They'll learn just enough to get by, just enough to survive. But if you want more than that, if you want to stand out, if you want to build a life that you're proud of, you have to go beyond that. You have to become the kind of person who actively seeks knowledge every single day. Reading is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. And when I say reading, I don't mean scrolling through social media or reading gossip. I mean reading books that challenge you, that teach you something valuable, that give you a new way of thinking. A single book can change your perspective forever. A single idea can be the difference between staying stuck and moving forward. The problem is, most people don't read after they finish school. They think they've learned everything they need to know. But life doesn't work that way. The moment you stop learning is the moment you stop growing. If you're not constantly feeding your mind with new information, you're falling behind. The world is changing fast, and if you're not keeping up, you're getting left behind. Listening is just as important. And I don't just mean hearing things, I mean truly listening. Paying attention to people who have been where you want to go, absorbing their wisdom, learning from their experiences. Every successful person I know is a great listener. They don't talk just to talk. They listen, they analyze, they take in information that helps them grow. But what do most people do? They talk. They fill conversations with their own opinions, their own assumptions, without ever taking the time to truly listen to those who know more than they do. And that's why they don't grow. Because when you're always talking, you're not learning. But when you listen, really listen, you pick up things that others miss. You start to understand people better. You start to see patterns. You start to gain insights that give you an advantage. And then there's observation. One of the greatest skills you can develop is the ability to see what others overlook. The world is filled with lessons. If you're paying attention, you can learn from people's successes, but even more importantly, you can learn from their mistakes. You don't have to experience every failure yourself. If you're observant, you can learn from the failures of others and avoid making the same mistakes. You can see how successful people operate, how they think, how they make decisions, but you have to be aware. You have to train yourself to see beyond the surface, to notice the details that others ignore. Because the truth is, the answers are always there. The patterns, the lessons, the opportunities, they're all around you. But if you're not looking, you'll never see them. When you combine these three habits, reading, listening, and observing, you become unstoppable. You start thinking differently. You start making better choices. You start attracting the right opportunities. And most importantly, you separate yourself from the crowd. Because while everyone else is distracted, wasting time, filling their minds with things that don't serve them, you're growing, you're evolving, you're building a mind that can handle anything life throws at you. And that's what gives you an advantage. That's what puts you ahead. Some people will hear this and think, that sounds great, but I don't have time for all of that. Let me tell you something. You do have time. You just have to make it. If you have time to watch TV, if you have time to scroll through your phone, if you have time to do things that don't add any value to your life, then you have time to educate yourself. It's not about having time. It's about making time. It's about prioritizing your growth. Because if you don't, you'll wake up one day and realize that years have gone by and nothing has changed. You'll be in the same place, facing the same problems, with the same regrets, and by then it might be too late. So what are you going to do? Are you going to keep filling your mind with things that don't serve you? Are you going to keep wasting time on things that don't move you forward? Or are you going to take control? Are you going to start feeding your mind with knowledge that makes you stronger, that gives you an advantage, that sets you up for success? The choice is yours. But remember this, your future depends on what you do today. If you want to be ahead in life, if you want to be successful, if you want to live on your terms, then you need to start educating yourself daily. Read, listen, observe, make it a habit, make it a priority, because your mind is the greatest asset you have, and what you put into it will determine everything about your future. Chapter 3: How to learn faster and smarter than 99% of people. If you're serious about improving your life and achieving success, there's one skill you need to master: learning faster and smarter than anyone else. The most successful people in the world don't just know more, they know how to absorb and apply information faster than the average person. And the good news is, you can do this too. It's not reserved for some elite group. It's a skill that can be developed, and it's one that will put you ahead of the competition, give you an edge, and make everything you do in life easier. The ability to learn faster isn't about having a better memory or being naturally gifted. It's about developing strategies and habits that make your learning process more efficient and effective. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Learning faster isn't just about cramming more information into your brain. It's about changing how you think, how you approach new information, and how you retain that information in the long term. It's about learning in a way that sticks, that helps you grow, and that moves you forward in the direction you want to go. And to be clear, the people who can learn faster are the ones who are always ahead in life. They pick up skills quicker, adapt to new challenges more easily, and are constantly evolving. So, what's the secret to learning faster and smarter? It starts with understanding how your brain works and how you can hack it to retain information more efficiently. The first thing you need to realize is that the more you engage with information, the better you will understand and remember it. This is where active learning comes in. Active learning is the process of engaging directly with the material. It's not enough to just read something or watch a video passively. You need to be involved. You need to ask questions, make connections, and apply what you've learned as soon as possible. When you're active in the learning process, your brain is forced to think critically, to make connections, and to engage with the material in a way that sticks. The more you engage with the content, the more likely it is to become ingrained in your memory. One way to do this is by teaching what you've just learned. Teaching others forces you to break down information in your own words, understand it deeply, and make sure you've grasped the key concepts. When you teach, you reinforce your knowledge and uncover gaps in your understanding. This is a powerful method to make sure the information stays with you for the long term. And the best part, You don't need to wait until you're an expert. Even if you're just starting out, you can teach what you've learned to someone else, and that will help solidify your knowledge. Another way to learn faster is to focus on the quality of your attention. You see, your brain can only focus for so long before it gets distracted. But the key is knowing how to leverage your attention in a way that maximizes your learning. One of the most effective ways to do this is through the Pomodoro technique. This method involves breaking your study or learning sessions into blocks of time, usually 25 minutes of focused work followed by a 5-minute break. During those 25 minutes, you give your full attention to the task at hand. No distractions, no multitasking, just pure focus. After the 25-minute block, you take a short break to rest and recharge. This keeps your brain fresh and ensures that you stay focused for longer periods. The Pomodoro technique helps you to work smarter, not harder, by maintaining a high level of focus and preventing burnout. But it's not just about focus, it's about how you organize and approach the information you're learning. One of the best ways to absorb new material is through spaced repetition. This is a technique where you review the material multiple times at increasing intervals to make sure it sticks. You don't just study something once and expect it to stay with you. No, you need to review the material at different times, spread out over days, weeks, and even months. The reason spaced repetition works is because it forces your brain to strengthen the connections between the information, making it easier to recall when you need it. There are apps and tools out there, like Anki or Quizlet, that can help you implement spaced repetition into your learning routine. These tools use algorithms to schedule reviews at the right intervals, making the process even more effective. Another technique to supercharge your learning is to visualize the information you're trying to retain. When you turn abstract ideas into images or mental pictures, you create associations that make the material easier to recall. This is because our brains are wired to remember images better than words. For example, if you're learning a new concept, try drawing a diagram or a mind map that visualizes the information. Use colors, shapes and lines to represent the different aspects of what you're learning. This will create a visual representation in your mind that makes the information more memorable. Learning faster is also about staying organized. The more organized your learning materials are, the more efficient your study sessions will be. This means having a clear outline, understanding what you need to focus on, and eliminating distractions. When you're organized, you can focus all of your energy on mastering the material instead of wasting time looking for notes or trying to figure out what to study next. A simple way to organize your learning is to break it down into small, manageable chunks. This helps you avoid feeling overwhelmed and allows you to track your progress as you go. But perhaps the most important factor in learning faster is your mindset. Your mindset determines how open you are to learning and how quickly you can absorb new information. If you believe that you're not a good learner, that learning is hard, or that you can't improve, then you're going to hold yourself back. But if you approach learning with the belief that you can grow and improve, that challenges are opportunities to learn, then you will find yourself picking up new information much faster. The most successful learners understand that learning is a lifelong process. They embrace it, they enjoy it, and they make it a part of their daily routine. Now let's talk about how all of this applies to real life. The most successful people are the ones who have mastered the art of learning. They don't just rely on what they learned in school, they're constantly educating themselves, constantly expanding their minds. Think about the people who have achieved extraordinary success in their lives. They read books, attend seminars, listen to podcasts, watch interviews, and constantly put themselves in environments where they're exposed to new ideas. They know that knowledge is power, and they understand that the more they learn, the more control they have over their future. Learning faster isn't just about speed, it's about efficiency. It's about being able to absorb new information, retain it, and apply it quickly. When you develop these skills, you start to move through life with confidence. You become a problem solver. You become someone who is always ready to face new challenges and take on new opportunities. And that's the key to staying ahead of the curve. The world is changing fast. Technology is advancing at an incredible rate. The people who are able to keep up are the ones who have mastered the art of learning. They know how to stay relevant, how to adapt, and how to continuously grow. The bottom line is this: if you want to achieve anything in life, you need to become a faster learner. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. It's about developing habits, strategies, and techniques that make you more efficient at learning. And the good news is, you don't need to be born with some special gift. You just need to start using the right strategies and put in the work. The faster you learn, the faster you grow. The faster you grow, the closer you get to your goals. And when you reach your goals, you'll realize that it all started with your ability to learn faster than the average person. So what are you waiting for? It's time to take control of your learning and get ahead. Chapter 4. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. Life is moving faster than ever before. Technology, knowledge, and trends are evolving at an unprecedented pace. And let me tell you something. If you're not actively learning, you're losing ground every single day. The world doesn't wait for anyone. Opportunities don't just come to those who are stagnant or content with what they already know. The people who are moving ahead are the ones who are committed to constant learning and personal growth. And if you want to join them, you've got to make learning a daily habit. You see, the key to success is understanding that education doesn't stop when you leave school. In fact, that's just the beginning. Life, real success, is built on a foundation of ongoing learning. The most successful people in the world don't stop learning when they reach a certain point. They make learning a daily, lifelong habit. And it's time for you to do the same. Think about this for a moment. When you stop learning, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you become stagnant. This is the harsh reality that so many people face. They reach a point in life where they feel like they know enough. They've reached a certain level of success, and they start coasting. They stop reading. They stop improving their skills. They stop challenging themselves. But here's the thing. The moment you stop learning, the world moves on without you. Let me make this crystal clear. If you're not learning, someone else is every single day. Someone else is picking up new skills, expanding their knowledge, and gaining a competitive edge. They are improving themselves and taking action. And by not learning, you're giving them the opportunity to leave you behind. Whether it's in your career, your business, or your personal life, there's always someone working harder, learning faster, and doing what's necessary to get ahead. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to take control of your education. You're going to make it a priority, and you're going to dedicate yourself to learning every single day. That's how you create real progress in your life. That's how you become the person who rises above the noise, the one who keeps moving forward while everyone else falls behind. Learning isn't just about reading books or taking courses though. It's about seeking knowledge wherever you can find it. It's about being curious, asking questions, and always looking for ways to improve. Whether it's a podcast you listen to during your morning commute, a video you watch in the evening, or a conversation you have with someone who knows more than you. There are countless opportunities to learn each day. The question is, are you taking advantage of them? Let's be real for a moment. The most successful people in the world aren't sitting back, waiting for things to happen. They're constantly learning, and you should be too. Don't wait for someone to hand you the knowledge you need. Go out there and get it. Seek it. And once you learn something, make sure you apply it. Knowledge without action is useless. Learning should lead to growth, and growth should lead to results. The thing is, learning doesn't always look like you think it does. It's not just about sitting in a classroom or attending a lecture. It's not just about reading a self-help book. Learning can happen in any situation. It's about how you choose to engage with the world around you. It's about the mindset you bring to every interaction, every conversation, every experience. So why are you still waiting? You already know that you can't afford to stand still. If you want to move forward in life, you've got to make learning a habit. You've got to be willing to invest in your future by continually expanding your mind. The best part is that learning doesn't have to take hours each day. Even just 30 minutes of focused learning each day can make a huge difference over time. If you do this every single day, those small amounts of time add up, and you'll be amazed at how much you learn in a year. But the key is consistency. Make learning a part of your daily routine, and watch how it transforms your life. But don't just learn for the sake of learning. Learn with purpose. Learn with intent. Know why you're learning, what you're learning, and how it applies to your life. The more purpose you attach to your learning, the more invested you'll be in it. When you understand how each new piece of knowledge fits into your life, it becomes more valuable, and it will stick with you longer. Learning is your superpower. And if you want to build the life you've always dreamed of, you've got to learn how to wield it. It's time to stop relying on the things you already know. It's time to stop assuming that the knowledge you have right now is enough. If you want more, you've got to be willing to learn more. That's how you break through the limits you've placed on yourself. That's how you unlock the doors to your full potential. Every day that you're not learning, you're missing out on a chance to improve. You're missing out on a chance to become the person you were meant to be. And trust me, that's not something you want to look back on. Imagine where you could be right now if you had committed to learning just a little bit more every day. Imagine how much more confident you would feel, how much more capable you would be, how many more opportunities would come your way. This is the opportunity that's in front of you right now. This is your wake-up call. You're not too busy to learn. You're not too old to learn. It's not too late for you. You just have to make the decision right now to stop letting learning be an afterthought. You've got to make it a priority. And once you do, you'll see your life change in ways you never thought possible. There's no excuse for not learning. None. Every single day, there are opportunities to get better, to get smarter, to get ahead. And if you're not taking them, you're falling behind. It's as simple as that. So let me ask you this. What's your plan? How are you going to commit to learning every single day? What's your strategy for expanding your knowledge and improving your skills? Because the truth is, it's up to you. You're the only one who can make the decision to change your life. No one else can do it for you. If you want to be successful, you need to start learning, and you need to start right now. The world is waiting for you. What are you going to do about it? Chapter 5. The secret to gaining an unfair advantage in life. The truth is simple. If you want to gain an unfair advantage in life, you've got to start thinking differently. The world is full of competition. Opportunities are everywhere, but so are the challenges that come with trying to stand out and make a real impact. If you're like most people, you probably feel the pressure to keep up with the fast pace of life, the never-ending demands of work, family, and all the other responsibilities that pull at your time. It's easy to feel like you're constantly chasing after something, trying to keep up with the crowd. But here's the thing, the crowd is where mediocrity lives. The crowd is where ordinary lives. If you want to be exceptional, you have to be willing to do what most people aren't willing to do. And that starts with educating yourself. If you want to be at the top of your game, you have to outlearn everyone else. Simple as that. But it's not just about reading books or taking courses. That's just the beginning. Real learning, the kind that gives you an edge, comes from understanding the world differently, seeing opportunities others don't, and developing the mindset that allows you to capitalize on them. This is the unfair advantage that most people don't even realize they're missing. But the moment you tap into it, everything changes. Think about it. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by chance. They didn't get there by following the traditional path or doing what everyone else was doing. They didn't get there by sitting around waiting for the perfect opportunity to fall into their laps. They created their own opportunities, and they did that by constantly educating themselves, by learning things that others didn't know, and by developing the skills and mindset that allowed them to act on what they learned. They took the time to become experts in their field, and then they used that expertise to build something extraordinary. But you can't expect that kind of success if you're not willing to invest in your education. And here's the kicker, the best part of all is that education is available to everyone. The information you need to build a better life, to grow a successful career, or to build wealth is right at your fingertips. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how seriously they take that opportunity. You can go online, pick up a book, listen to a podcast, or attend a seminar, and you can start learning right now. The question is, what are you going to do with it? The real secret to gaining an unfair advantage is understanding that learning is not a one-time thing. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It's a lifelong commitment. The people who truly excel are the ones who understand that success doesn't come from knowing a little bit more than the next guy. It comes from constantly seeking new knowledge, new skills and new ways of thinking. It's about staying ahead of the curve, always looking for that next piece of information that will put you in the driver's seat of your own success. If you want to be the best, you have to be willing to put in the time and effort to learn what others won't. The truth is, most people are too comfortable. They do just enough to get by. They rely on what they already know, and that's where they stop. But the world doesn't reward good enough. The world rewards those who go the extra mile, who push past the limitations that others impose on themselves. The world rewards those who never stop learning. And the best part is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to figure everything out on your own. There are experts in every field who have already walked the path you want to walk, and they're willing to share their knowledge with you. Whether it's through books, podcasts, YouTube videos or courses, the information is out there. The only thing standing between you and success is your willingness to put in the work and make learning a daily habit. Now I know it can be overwhelming. The world is full of information, and sometimes it feels like there's just too much to learn. But here's the thing, you don't have to know everything. You just have to focus on learning the things that matter most to you and your goals. If you want to grow your business, learn everything you can about marketing and sales. If you want to improve your health, learn about nutrition, fitness and mindset. The key is to be strategic with your learning. Don't try to learn everything at once. pick one thing that will help you get closer to your goal and immerse yourself in it. Once you've mastered that, move on to the next thing. The unfair advantage you're looking for isn't something that someone can just hand you. It's something you have to earn. It's something you have to work for. But the best part is that the more you learn, the more opportunities you'll start to see. You'll start to understand things that others don't, and that will allow you to make decisions that put you ahead of the pack. You'll begin to recognize patterns that others miss, and that will give you a strategic edge in everything you do. Learning is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, and it's the key to unlocking the life you've always wanted. But here's the harsh reality. If you're not learning, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. It's as simple as that. The world is constantly changing, and if you're not actively keeping up, you'll quickly find yourself left behind. The opportunities that are available today won't be available forever. If you want to seize them, you've got to be ready. And the only way to be ready is to keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing yourself beyond what you think is possible. So what are you waiting for? Start learning. Start gaining that unfair advantage. Start investing in your future today. The world is full of opportunities, but they're not going to wait for you to catch up. Take action now, and make education your secret weapon. If you do that, nothing will be able to stop you from achieving the success you deserve. The unfair advantage is right in front of you. Take it, own it, and never stop learning. Chapter 6. Your mind is a weapon. Sharpen it or stay average. If you want to rise above the noise of everyday life, you need to understand that the most powerful tool at your disposal is not your body, your connections, or even your resources. It's your mind. The way you think, the way you process information, and the way you use what you know will make all the difference between a life of mediocrity and one of greatness. And let me tell you, the majority of people never unlock their mind's true potential. They settle for average because they never take the time to sharpen their most important asset. But you're not average. You're not here to live a life of just enough. You're here to make an impact, to reach new heights, and to push the boundaries of what's possible. And the way you do that is by training and sharpening your mind every single day. Sharpening your mind is not just about gaining knowledge. It's about transforming how you think. When you develop the discipline to sharpen your mind, you transform your mindset. You develop the capacity to think critically, to solve problems more effectively, and to see opportunities where others only see challenges. It's about turning your mind into a tool that serves you rather than something that holds you back. And let me tell you this, if you're not intentionally sharpening your mind every day, then you're falling behind. Think about it this way. The most successful people in history didn't get there by relying on their natural talent alone. They didn't get there by coasting through life with a passive approach to learning and growth. They got there because they understood that the mind is like any other muscle. It gets stronger with consistent, deliberate exercise. They made a habit of sharpening their mind through constant learning, self-reflection, and developing new skills. The most successful people in the world are those who never stop growing mentally. They are constantly sharpening their mind, reading books, listening to thought leaders, seeking wisdom, and learning how to think better. And that's why they're able to see opportunities that others don't, make decisions that lead them to success, and keep growing even when the world seems to be pushing against them. Now, you might be thinking, Jim, I'm already busy. How do I fit sharpening my mind into my schedule? The answer is simple. You don't need to spend hours and hours every day. But you do need to make it a priority. You don't need to spend all day studying or listening to podcasts. You can take small, deliberate steps each day. It's about consistency over time. Imagine if you spent just 20 minutes a day reading something that expanded your mind, listening to a podcast that challenged your thinking, or watching a video that helped you develop a new skill. Do that every day for a year, and the transformation will be astonishing. You'll be operating at a level of insight and clarity that most people never achieve. You'll be far ahead of the curve, with a mind that is sharper and more equipped to take on any challenge that comes your way. The key to sharpening your mind is to focus on developing your mental toughness and intellectual discipline. It's about pushing through the barriers that laziness or comfort set up in your life. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that your mind is good enough. But if you want to become truly exceptional, you need to understand that good enough is the enemy of greatness. Average thinking gets average results. But when you actively work on developing a sharper mind, you unlock the potential for success that's waiting for you. Sharpening your mind is also about developing a growth mindset, the belief that you can learn and grow throughout your life. It's about becoming the kind of person who isn't afraid of challenges, but instead sees them as opportunities to grow. When you develop this mindset, you become less intimidated by setbacks and more eager to learn from them. And the best part is, this is a skill you can cultivate. Every time you take on a new challenge or pick up a book that expands your knowledge, you're adding to your mental toughness. The more you stretch your mind, the stronger it becomes, and the easier it becomes to think critically and solve problems creatively. This is what separates the people who get by from the people who lead, innovate, and succeed in ways others can't even imagine. It's important to understand that sharpening your mind is not just about knowledge, it's also about emotional intelligence. The best decision makers in the world aren't just the ones with the most facts or the highest IQ. They are the ones who know how to manage their emotions, stay calm under pressure, and make decisions based on logic and reason, not knee-jerk reactions. Developing emotional intelligence is a key part of sharpening your mind because it helps you stay focused and calm in the face of uncertainty and stress. It's the ability to navigate life's challenges with a clear, level-headed approach. And this skill can be developed by practicing mindfulness, learning to pause before reacting, and reflecting on your emotions to understand where they come from and how they influence your decisions. If you want to rise to the top in any area of life, you've got to sharpen your mind. The most successful people in the world, those who are constantly moving forward, solving problems and achieving their goals, are the ones who have developed this skill. They know that the world is full of distractions, setbacks and challenges, but they don't let those things get in the way. Instead, they stay focused on developing their mind and thinking in ways that allow them to overcome any obstacle. They know that every challenge is an opportunity to sharpen their thinking, and they use every setback as a chance to become better, more skilled, and more capable. And here's the secret: sharpening your mind doesn't just make you smarter, it makes you more effective. It helps you make better decisions, solve problems faster, and see patterns that others miss. The more you sharpen your mind, the more you'll begin to realize how much potential you have. You'll start to see opportunities everywhere, and you'll know exactly how to seize them. You'll stop being reactive and start being proactive. You'll stop waiting for things to happen and start making things happen. That's what sharpening your mind does for you. It empowers you to take control of your life and your future. So if you want to succeed, if you want to stand out, and if you want to build a life of meaning and purpose, you've got to commit to sharpening your mind every single day. Every moment you spend developing your mental skills, gaining new knowledge, and improving your thinking is an investment in your future. You'll never regret putting in the work to sharpen your mind, because it will pay off in ways you can't even begin to imagine. The more you sharpen your mind, the more you become a force to be reckoned with. And the best part is, you can start right now. So get out there, start sharpening your mind, and watch as your life begins to change in ways you never thought possible. Chapter 7. This daily habit will make you smarter than 95% of people. Every single day, you have the power to grow, to become smarter, and to move closer to the person you want to be. And the secret to becoming smarter than 95% of people lies in one simple yet powerful habit that you can start right now. It's not about having some kind of extraordinary natural talent or being born with a genius-level IQ. It's about consistently committing to a daily habit that strengthens your mind, expands your knowledge, and builds the foundation for an incredible life. That daily habit is learning. The smartest people in the world didn't get there by accident. They made learning a daily part of their routine, a part of their life that never stops. If you want to be smarter than 95% of people, you need to start educating yourself every single day, without fail. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't require hours of studying or listening to lectures. It's about taking small, consistent actions each day that build up over time. The key is making it a daily habit, not something you do only when you feel like it. It's about developing the discipline to carve out time in your day, to invest in your growth, to expand your mind, and to learn something new that will take you one step closer to the person you want to be. You've probably heard that knowledge is power, but knowledge is only truly powerful when it's applied. That's why this daily habit is so crucial. It's not enough to just absorb information passively. You need to apply it, to integrate it into your life, and to see the results that come from it. When you learn something new every day, you are constantly upgrading your thinking, your skills, and your ability to take on the challenges that come your way. And the more you learn, the more you begin to see the world in a different way. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will start to feel more accessible. Problems that once seemed overwhelming will begin to seem solvable. The key to all of this is making sure that learning is a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. But I know what you're thinking. I don't have time to learn every day. Let me tell you something, my friend. Every single person has the same 24 hours in a day. It's not about having more time. It's about how you choose to use the time you have. Learning doesn't have to be time-consuming. It doesn't require hours of studying or reading textbooks. It can be as simple as spending 20 minutes reading a book, listening to a podcast, or watching a video that challenges your thinking. That's it, just 20 minutes a day. Over time, those 20 minutes will add up, and the impact on your life will be profound. The key is consistency. You don't need to do it all at once. You just need to commit to making learning a habit every single day. And here's what happens when you make this daily habit of learning a part of your routine. You become a better problem solver. You become a more strategic thinker. You become more capable of navigating life's challenges and making decisions that move you closer to your goals. You stop being reactive and start being proactive. You stop waiting for opportunities to come to you and start creating them for yourself. The more you learn, the sharper your mind becomes, and the better equipped you are to tackle whatever comes your way. You'll also start to notice that your confidence grows. As you gain more knowledge and understanding, you'll feel more capable, more empowered, and more prepared to take on anything life throws at you. You'll start to see yourself as someone who is constantly growing and improving, and that mindset will propel you forward. Confidence doesn't come from thinking you know everything. It comes from knowing that you are always learning, always growing, and always moving forward. The more you learn, the more you begin to trust yourself and your abilities. and that confidence will attract new opportunities, new connections, and new success into your life. Here's the thing, learning doesn't just happen in a classroom or with a textbook. Learning happens every day, in every conversation, in every experience, and in every challenge you face. It's not about waiting for the perfect time or the perfect opportunity to learn. It's about making the most of the time you have right now. Every moment is an opportunity to learn something new, to grow, and to become smarter. And when you make learning a daily habit, you'll start to see just how much you can accomplish, how much you can grow, and how much potential you have within you. The people who succeed in life aren't necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who commit to learning every single day. They're the ones who make learning a non-negotiable part of their daily routine. They understand that knowledge is power, but it's the application of that knowledge that leads to success. And the best part, you don't have to be a genius to do this. You just need to commit to learning every day. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is that you start, because when you make learning a habit, you unlock a world of possibilities for yourself. So ask yourself, are you ready to commit to becoming smarter than 95% of people? Are you ready to make learning a daily habit and see where it takes you? If you are, then start right now. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take action today. Spend just 20 minutes learning something new and make that commitment every day. Because when you do, you're setting yourself up for success. You're investing in your future, in your growth, and in your potential. And over time, you'll be amazed at how much smarter, more capable, and more successful you become. Learning is a lifelong journey, and it's a journey that never ends. The more you learn, the more you'll realize just how much there is to learn. But that's the beauty of it. Life becomes more exciting, more fulfilling, and more meaningful when you're constantly growing, constantly challenging yourself, and constantly becoming better. And the best part, the choice is yours. The power is in your hands. You have the ability to make learning a daily habit, and you have the ability to become smarter than 95% of people. So what are you waiting for? Start today. Start now. And watch your life transform as you commit to learning every single day. Chapter 8. Why most people stop learning and ruin their future. When you stop learning, you stop growing. It's that simple. The moment you decide that you know enough or you've learned enough is the moment you start falling behind. Life doesn't wait for anyone, and the world around you doesn't stop changing. Every single day, there's something new to learn, something that can push you forward or hold you back, depending on whether or not you choose to keep growing. But the truth is, the vast majority of people stop learning far too early, and it's this very choice that leads to their downfall. You see, learning is not just about acquiring facts or gaining knowledge. It's about evolving, adapting, and constantly improving yourself. When you decide you've reached the peak, when you think you've done enough, you're no longer preparing for the future. You're settling into a place where growth stops, and stagnation takes its place. And stagnation, it's dangerous. It's like standing still while the rest of the world moves on without you. Things change, opportunities arise, and life's challenges grow more complex. If you're not evolving with them, you'll find yourself left behind, wondering where it all went wrong. Look, it's easy to get comfortable. It's easy to feel like you've learnt enough. You've picked up the basics, you've mastered certain skills, and maybe you even feel confident in what you know. But that sense of confidence, if not paired with continued learning, becomes complacency. And complacency, my friend, is a trap. It may not show up immediately, but over time, you'll notice that the world around you starts to feel unfamiliar, and opportunities begin to slip through your fingers. You won't even know what hit you. Think about it for a second. How many times have you heard someone say, "I don't need to learn anything else," or "I'm done with school, that part of my life is over"? And what happens when they make that decision? They stop growing. They stop challenging themselves. They stop learning. They believe the work is done. But here's the thing, learning never ends. As long as you're alive, you have the opportunity to grow. You have the chance to continue to expand your mind, your skills, and your understanding of the world around you. The problem comes when you think you've reached the top, and there's no more room for growth. This is where so many people fail. They think they're done. They get comfortable in their routines, and they believe they've already done the hard work. But this is where it all falls apart. Complacency sets in. The competition gets sharper, the world gets more connected, and new ideas and innovations come flooding in. The people who are learning every day are the ones who thrive. They are the ones who push forward, who stay ahead of the curve, and who make things happen. But the ones who stop learning, they get stuck in the past, and the world moves on without them. If you want to avoid this trap, you need to understand that learning is not a luxury, it's a necessity. You can't afford to stop. Not if you want to live the life you've always dreamed of. Not if you want to keep moving forward. The world isn't waiting for you to catch up. It's evolving every single day, and if you're not evolving with it, you're falling behind. Now, this doesn't mean you need to be constantly reading books or attending classes every single day, although that would certainly help. But it does mean that you need to be open to new ideas, new perspectives, and new ways of doing things. You need to be proactive about your growth. You need to seek out new opportunities to learn, whether it's through a podcast, a conversation with someone, or even just paying attention to what's happening in the world around you. The key is to never stop, because the moment you stop learning is the moment you start dying, not literally, but in a sense, you stop growing. And that's when you begin to lose touch with everything that could help you move forward. Think about all the people who are living extraordinary lives right now, people who are constantly challenging themselves, pushing their boundaries, and learning new things. Do you think they've stopped? Do you think they're done with their growth? Absolutely not. They've realized that learning is the key to everything. It's the foundation of all success. It's what drives them forward when everyone else is stuck. The truth is, learning is the one thing that separates the ones who succeed from the ones who don't. If you stop learning, you're not just risking your future, you're holding yourself back from the opportunities that are out there waiting for you. It doesn't matter how old you are or how much you already know. There is always something new to learn. And the moment you decide you're done learning is the moment you start declining. You cannot afford to stop. If you want to stay relevant, if you want to stay competitive, if you want to be someone who is constantly moving forward, you have to keep learning. No one has ever reached a place where learning is unnecessary. There's always more to discover, more to understand, and more to apply. So, what does that mean for you? It means that you need to make learning a priority. You need to commit to educating yourself, to improving every day, to looking for opportunities to grow, and to constantly challenging yourself. The world is changing rapidly, and if you're not learning, you're getting left behind. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. Simple as that. This isn't a luxury. It's not optional. It's a necessity if you want to live a successful, fulfilling life. So don't fall into the trap of thinking you've learned enough. Don't let complacency take hold. Keep growing. Keep evolving. Keep learning. Because as long as you do, you'll stay ahead of the curve, you'll stay relevant, and you'll keep winning. Never stop learning. Chapter 9. How to become a person others look up to. If you want to become a person others look up to, you have to stop waiting for the world to hand you success. You have to stop relying on other people to notice you or put you on a pedestal. You don't need anyone else's approval to be someone others admire. It all starts with you, the person you are right now. The difference between a person who's seen as inspiring and one who's simply going through the motions comes down to the choices they make, the habits they form, and how they carry themselves every single day. You don't need a title, a fancy job, or an impressive resume to be someone worth looking up to. It doesn't matter where you come from, how much money you have, or what your background is. What matters is how you show up in the world. What matters is the way you treat people, the way you live your life, and the integrity you bring to everything you do. People notice those who have substance, who stand for something, who act with purpose and confidence. These are the qualities that make others look up to you. But it's not just about showing up, it's about showing up consistently, with intention. You have to show up every day with a mindset of growth, with a commitment to personal development, and with a genuine desire to contribute to others' lives. The people who rise above the crowd don't just talk about the things they want to do, they take action. They do what others won't. They push through the challenges and setbacks that would leave most people discouraged. They make a habit of overcoming obstacles, not running from them. And it's in that very process that they earn the respect and admiration of those around them. So, how do you become that person? It's simpler than you think. It starts by setting the right example. It's about doing the things that others are unwilling to do, but doing them with grace and humility. Being someone others look up to isn't about being perfect. It's about being authentic. It's about owning your mistakes, learning from them, and getting back on track. People admire those who can face their flaws head-on and work to improve them. They respect those who take responsibility for their actions, even when it's difficult. And when you live like that, when you demonstrate that kind of character, others will begin to notice. It's the quiet strength of consistency that attracts people to you. The more you make personal growth a priority, the more you model discipline, perseverance, and kindness in every interaction, the more others will look up to you. They'll see your results, yes, but they'll also admire your process. They'll see that you're not just focused on what you're achieving, but how you're achieving it. That is the real secret to becoming someone worth looking up to. But you can't do this just for the sake of others. You have to do it for yourself first. You have to understand that becoming someone others look up to is not about chasing admiration. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. When you do that, the admiration follows naturally. You attract people who want to be around you, who want to learn from you, and who want to follow your example. But it starts with you and your commitment to growing, improving, and living with integrity. When you wake up each day, ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? What do I want to accomplish? What values do I want to live by? The way you answer these questions is going to determine the kind of person you become and ultimately the kind of life you lead. If you want to be someone others admire, then make sure your actions align with your words. Make sure your values show up in everything you do. People see through inauthenticity. If you're only pretending to care about growth or success, it's going to show. But when you genuinely live with integrity and consistency, people will notice. And let's not forget the power of kindness. True strength is not about being tough or intimidating. It's about lifting others up, supporting them, and showing empathy. The people who others admire the most are often those who genuinely care about others' well-being. They inspire others not through force or authority, but by setting an example of kindness, patience, and respect. When you live this way, you create a ripple effect that impacts everyone around you. And this isn't something you have to force, it's something that naturally happens when you decide to make these qualities part of who you are. Remember, being someone others look up to isn't about striving for perfection, it's about authenticity. It's about living with intention and doing the work even when no one's watching. It's about setting goals and pushing forward, even when things are tough. People look up to those who don't quit, who keep going when it's hard, who stand firm in their beliefs and values, and who are always working to be better. The true measure of greatness is not what you accomplish, but who you become in the process. You have everything you need right now to start becoming that person. It starts with a choice. A decision to stop waiting for the world to notice you and to start showing up as the person you want to be. Because when you make that choice, when you commit to being the best version of yourself every day, others will start looking up to you. You'll become the kind of person who doesn't just survive in this world, but thrives. And in the process, you'll inspire others to do the same. So take that first step. Make the decision today. Be the person others look up to, not for the recognition, but because it's who you were always meant to be. Chapter 10. The one rule that will make you unstoppable. If you want to make a lasting impact on your life, you need to embrace one rule above all others. It's the kind of rule that separates those who dream from those who do. It's the one rule that takes you from where you are now to where you want to be, no matter how high or far that destination seems. It's the key to unlocking your full potential, to moving forward, and to becoming the kind of person you've always aspired to be. The rule is simple. Never, ever give up. This rule sounds deceptively simple, doesn't it? It almost sounds too easy. But let me tell you something. The simplicity of it is exactly why so many people miss it. They start off with great enthusiasm, passion, and vision, but then somewhere along the way, they hit a wall. Life gets hard. Challenges arise. Things don't go as planned. And instead of pushing through, instead of embracing the discomfort, they quit, they back away. They abandon their dreams. But not you. Because when you decide to make this rule your rule, you create a new mindset. You shift from someone who's at the mercy of circumstances to someone who controls the outcome. You take back the power you might have given away to life's inevitable setbacks. Every time you face a challenge, instead of backing down, you rise to the occasion. You face it head-on and refuse to quit. Because you know that nothing worthwhile comes easy, but everything becomes possible when you refuse to give up. The magic of never giving up isn't just in the big dramatic moments. It's in the daily small choices. It's when you wake up in the morning and the bed feels extra comfortable, but you get up anyway. It's when you've had a rough day and you feel like you've given all you've got, but you keep pushing. It's when you hit a roadblock in your plans, and instead of walking away, you take a step back, reevaluate, and then move forward. The ability to persist, to keep going when everything in you says to stop, is the true mark of a person who is serious about their success. People who make it, people who succeed at the highest level, don't do so because they were given something special. They do it because they made a commitment to never giving up. They stick it out through the tough times. They persevere when others walk away. They take their dreams seriously, and they make the choice to continue, day after day, even when the journey feels long and exhausting. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. You've probably heard the saying, success is a journey, not a destination. It's true. But what most people don't realize is that this journey isn't a straight path. It's full of twists, turns, and detours. It's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to throw in the towel when things aren't going the way you expected. But the successful ones understand that these moments are part of the process. They know that the setbacks aren't failures, they are lessons. Every time you fall, you get back up stronger. Every time you face a difficulty, you come out on the other side better equipped to handle what's ahead. And all of this happens because you refuse to quit. It's not enough to simply have the desire to succeed. Many people want success, but few are willing to do what it takes to get there. Success requires more than just wishing for things to change. It demands action, persistence, and resilience. And while there will always be obstacles that try to knock you down, the one thing that guarantees you will make it is your ability to persevere. Your determination to never give up is what will push you across the finish line, time after time. In life there will be moments when you feel like everything is against you. You'll face rejection, you'll encounter failure, you'll feel like you've given your all and still don't see the results you were hoping for. But in those moments, you have a choice. You can choose to listen to the doubts in your head, to the negativity around you, or to the excuses that try to pull you back. Or you can choose to push through, to take one more step, to keep moving forward no matter what. It's the relentless pursuit of your dreams, the unwavering commitment to your goals, that will make all the difference. If you're willing to keep going when others would have quit, if you're willing to face every obstacle head on, you will see results. The key to everything is consistency, and consistency is born from a refusal to give up. If you stay the course, you'll get there. You'll achieve your goals, you'll fulfill your potential, and you'll become the person you've always wanted to be. Think about the people who inspire you the most. I'm willing to bet they're not the ones who had the easiest path or the smoothest ride. The people you admire the most are the ones who kept going despite the odds. They're the ones who faced adversity and pushed through. They're the ones who got knocked down and chose to get back up every single time. And the reason you look up to them is because of their refusal to quit. The most important part of this rule is not the big heroic moments. It's the everyday commitment to keep going, no matter what. It's waking up every morning with a renewed sense of purpose, no matter how yesterday went. It's putting in the work day after day, even when you don't see immediate results. It's knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, is one step closer to your goal. You are capable of far more than you realize. When you make the decision to never give up, you unlock a new level of strength, resilience, and determination. You stop letting life's challenges define you, and you start defining how you respond to those challenges. The path to success is paved with persistence, and as long as you continue, you are guaranteed to make progress. So take this rule to heart. Never give up. Not when it's easy, not when it's hard, and certainly not when it feels like the world is against you. Keep pushing forward, keep putting in the work, and keep believing in yourself, because that's how you become unstoppable. When you decide to never give up, you change everything. Your life, your future, and your success. You've got what it takes. Don't stop now.